What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down something very important about SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. But let me first say that I am not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. You sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you guaranteed 20 free stocks. Deposit $25,000 or more, and you're guaranteed 75 of them, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, I want to talk about something very critical for SPY, okay? SPY has been dropping harder and harder and harder, continuing to fall. One level I called out is this 494 area. If we ended up losing 497, that is where SPY has gone to. And that's why I want to give you guys a very important warning about this. So, max pain for today is at 500. We have a lot of puts expiring, but that doesn't seem to really guarantee anything, of course. This could incentivize the market makers to push the market higher at close, but nothing is guaranteed. We'll have to see what they try to pull off right now. As of right now, SPY is still kind of weak. We haven't been able to get a bounce back up to 500 so far. And so far, the people holding puts are the ones who are winning, at least for now. And the overall situation around the world with Israel and Iran is playing a very, very big role in giving those positions a bigger edge. And this sometimes happens. Nothing is always has to be completely stationary, exactly the same every single week. Shorts don't have to get squeezed every single week, and we are seeing a shift in the markets. So, with that being said, I want to talk about something very important. On SPY, I have this level mark here. I know it's a little hard to see. I'm going to try to zoom into this a little bit. It's basically between this 493 to 494 area. That is critical support for SPY. We have to close above this. We have to hold this. If we hold this, there is hope for SPY to try to rebound next week as we have big tech earnings. Okay. There is hope for us to rebound and get a little bounce next week if we hold this support. If we close below this, if we lose 493, SPY has a lot of room for downside. It's going to collapse. Okay. I want to give you guys a warning about that. Please be prepared. Please be open minded about all of this and just know and heed my warnings. So, watch and see when we close. I'm not really too worried about it bouncing right now since we don't have that much time. Do we close above 494 to 493, that range? Or do we close below 493? If it's below 493, it's going to be a bad sign for next week. I'll be watching this very, very carefully. We have to try to hold this support. It's going to be critical for SPY. If we close below it, there's going to be possibly more downside coming early next week, and the market's not ready for that bounce yet. For Tesla on the weekly chart, we have a bearish looking weekly candlestick right now. When we zoom out like this, we came down to fill the gap. We're in the mid 140 area. So we approached this support around 145. If we continue to fall, Tesla, we want to see Tesla close above at least 144. We're still holding it very closely around that area, but just know the chart is still looking very weak on the weekly, and there is a risk of it actually dipping more for now. If we lose 444, I could see this dip lower, this 445 to 444 area. If we hold above this, we could see a counter trend move next week because of Tesla's earnings. That's a strong possibility. We'll be watching just to be safe how well we hold up. Nvidia got a big rug pull. I was talking about some downside in Nvidia and it potentially approaching 800. We actually broke well below that, and now we're continuing to fall into the 760 area. So it went even lower than what my target was. But still, I did call the downside. It just went even lower than that. Wasn't expecting Nvidia to be down to like 10% almost. So pretty wild stuff in the markets. Right now, we have this support right here. I'm actually eyeing this level right here. Nvidia is going to be testing this level right about here. We have support basically at 750, and then also right around this zone right here. We have another support around the 767 zone. If Nvidia loses 767 to 760 area, look for 750. That fills us. There's another gap to fill all the way down to 718. Nvidia is looking very weak. This is dragging the QQQ down like crazy. The QQQ is down like almost 2.26%. Pretty crazy stuff. Market is still weak, and we're continuing to see lots and lots of downside. We will see if big tech gets gives the market a boost, a bounce next week or not. But the market is still weak at the time I'm recording this. No sign of a bounce yet. For the triple Q, I called out many of these supports. I talked about how we had 420, 418, then 416 coming. We actually lost everything that I had called out in the intraday video. And now we have a gap to fill all the way down here around this 413 area. So that's basically the next target. We're also trying to hold 414, but just know, excuse me, there's this gap to fill all the way down 413. there's another gap all the way down here at 407. So if we lose support there, you're going to be watching our next level at 410. If that fails us, I'll be watching this zone right here. So with that being said, guys, those are just some very, very quick levels. QQQ is looking bearish right now. We'll see if we could try to hold where this gap is. And if we get some kind of counter trend move next week after we're dropping really hard, we'll see if we get something like that or not. I'll be very patient looking into this. There is potential for it to try to get a little rebound before we continue lower, but so far the trend is bearish. For Aapl, we're looking pretty weak right now. We're barely holding 165. I did call out 165. I want to mention that every time we hit 165, we saw this chart bounce over the last couple of months. So we'll see if we could hold this or not. If we hold 165, we could rebound, try to fill this gap next week to 167. If we lose 165, we're going to turn a lot more bearish if we close below that. So that's going to be very, very bad for Aapl. We will see if it could close above that or not, and I'll be very, very patient in the process. All right, so with that being said, that's it for the main tickers out there. The VIX is still on a very, very strong uptrend, coming down a bit, but it's still uptrending. It dropped a little bit from the high, but it's still, once again, uptrending very, very nicely. That's bearish for the markets. Meta came down quite a bit. We saw this thing drop not just in this channel, but actually lost the channel and went all the way down to its 50 EMA, losing support. So it's looking very bearish. And, with earnings coming out, that's going to be the next catalyst for it next week. Amazon's coming down. We lost 178. We're coming all the way down to this target over here. This support has failed us, so we're going to be eyeing this level right here. We have 174, and if that fails us, we're going down to 172. And if that fails, there's a big gap to fill all the way down to 169. If we lose 172, 169 is coming, so just be prepared, guys. The market still looks bearish. There's still a risk of downside, but for SPY specifically, I'm not 100% convinced it's going to just keep collapsing. There's a possibility of a bounce next week, but in order for that to happen, the first thing we have to worry about is where we close. Can we close above 493 to 494? If we do it, there is still hope. If we lose 493, we're not going to likely bounce. We're going to likely see more downside. So that's my warning for SPY and the tickers out there. And I hope this value brought value into your guys' lives. So thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day. We'll see how things go. The market is looking pretty weak for now because the whole situation involving Israel and Iran is very tense. SPY is continuing to dip. We'll see if we continue to fall, especially going into next week, or if we get a small counter trend move, a little bounce before we continue lower. I wanted to just call that out, and we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But as of right now, the charts are looking weak, and we'll have to see how well we hold. Right now, let me just call out that SPY is still holding the support right here. We're still trying to hold 493 to 494, so watch for that very carefully. Can we hold this support or not? If we hold it, we'll see where it goes from here. All right. So that's my warning for everyone. That's a very, very important support on SPY. I just want to give you guys a warning. All right. Have a great day. I'll see you guys very soon in a few hours, and peace out.